I think I made my thoughts on cancel culture loud and clear last year to the point where I got some backlash for it, I guess. I mean, look at my Emblem video. I got absolutely flamed for my opinion on cancel culture. But that aside, a year has passed, over a year has passed since that video. What do I think of cancel culture these days? Do I now think it is something that is running so rampant, people are getting canceled left and right for stupid reasons? This phrase has been thrown around so much to hell and back to the point where I struggle taking it seriously, and every time someone claims that they're cancelled or someone claims that someone else has been cancelled, there's always a layer of skepticism within me because so many times at this point someone has claimed that they've been cancelled when in reality they're just being called out for saying something completely stupid. Like, for example, Gina Carano earlier this year. She said something completely asinine like, conservatives these days in this country are comparable to Jews during the Holocaust because conservatives are somehow persecuted for being who they are. Like, that is absolutely stupid and offensive, and she got kicked off her Disney show for saying something so stupid and offensive. And then she went on this cry fest, claiming that she has been cancelled. Oh my god, I lost my job because I said something so absolutely stupid. And then you saw all these conservatives backing her up and whining about cancel culture. My biggest issue with the phrase easily is a lot of people using it as a way to shield themselves from having to take accountability for their actions or what they say. Because why do that when you could just say you're being cancelled for your opinion? You don't have to learn from your mistakes because that requires change and growth. And a lot of people can't be fucked to put the effort in to do that. So why not just whine about cancel culture and win yourself some oppression points instead? If shit like that didn't happen so often, and if the right didn't take the phrase and completely mangle it and turn it into something that means shielding yourself from having to take responsibility for what you say and do, then maybe I would be a bit more open to the idea that cancel culture is indeed a problem. Cancel culture is something that is prevalent. But since so often you see people claim that they've been canceled for, say, putting out false information about Joe Biden supposedly stealing the 2020 election or something equally as erroneous, I have trouble taking people who complain about it seriously. So many people want to be the victim. So many people want to be felt sorry for because, oh noes, they said or did something very stupid causing people to call them out in mass, and now they are expected to take accountability for what they said or did and learn from their mistake. And they don't want to do that. It's like we're back in fucking pre-K, where a child does something they're obviously not supposed to do, they get caught, and then they throw a tantrum when they're expected to apologize for what they did. This isn't to say there aren't malicious people out there who want to ruin someone's reputation for the hell of it. They bring up old posts that person made where they said the N-word or made some off-color remark or joke that they didn't know was insensitive back then, and they so obviously have matured since then, so bringing up that post isn't damning in the slightest. When it comes to things like that, I'll agree that's shitty, and I'll concede that there are a considerable amount of people who engage in such behavior. I mean, when you pay attention to the online left as much as I do, it's undeniable that a lot of people engage in that behavior, but anyways, even then, I have never seen things like that actually succeed. Whenever things like that actually happen to a public figure, it is dispelled rather quickly. The public figure is usually like, yeah, what I said back then was stupid. I have so obviously learned more and I've grown since making that stupid post, and I disavow it now. I would never say something like that now. And, they absolved themselves rather quickly. An attempt was made, but they weren't actually cancelled. The only kinds of people I've ever seen effectively cancelled are the worst kinds of people, the people who deserve it the most, the pedophiles, the rapists, etc., etc. Even then, I've seen some people slip through the cracks if they have a big enough fan base, like most recently Shane Dawson. He posted a comeback video recently, and his fan base is eating that shit up like nothing ever happened. And also look at James Charles a few months ago. He came back after he was exposed for grooming a minor. His fan base acted like nothing ever happened. At one point, people wanted to see these two's heads on a stick. People were saying these two's careers were over, they were cancelled, and look, they're just fine. So does cancel culture actually work? Is cancel culture really that big of an issue if the worst kinds of people who deserve to be canceled the most can't even be canceled? When I finally start seeing big name pieces of shit like those two finally having to face consequences for their actions, then we can talk about how people online calling for the cancellation of others can actually work, and how that can possibly lead to bad things happening. But for now, I'm not entirely on this cancel culture bandwagon, I am sorry. You'd have a point if you just said there's an epidemic of people trying to cancel others but not succeeding, but still the fact that there is an attempt made so many times to get people canceled for stupid reasons is a problem, then sure, I'd agree, but saying that there's an epidemic of people actually being canceled, I do not agree. When the cancel culture discourse gets to a point where people are whining about Mr. Potato Head, of all things, being cancelled, all because the company who makes the toys removed the Mr. from the branding and changing literally nothing else, I struggle to see why I should take cancel culture so seriously. And shit, a lot of these supposed anti-cancel culture people really aren't any better than the people they claim to hate. Shocker, I know. Just recently I heard a lot of these people were complaining about some My Little Pony movie supposedly being quote-unquote woke because it promotes inclusivity and apparently had some pretty unfavorable depictions of fascism. Based as fuck. Also, I heard a lot of these people were complaining about the Muppets or whatever the fuck, because one of the male Muppets, I should add, was wearing a dress for like 10 seconds. You know, the real issues. So again, I'll reiterate, when the discourse gets so fucking ridiculous to the point where we're complaining about children's toys and children's TV shows and movies, is it something I should really take seriously and believe is as big of an issue as a lot of the people who complain about it claim it is? But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I already know some people are probably not going to take too kindly to what I say in this video, but whatever. It's something I'm definitely used to at this point, especially when it comes to the topic of cancel culture. But hey, I could just say that all of the people who disagree with me are trying to cancel me. Just like much of the people who complain about cancel culture. What a genius idea. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.